Hi all, it's Rio CloudSync. In today's session, we're going to be discussing Azure Active Directory. In particular, how to change the maximum number of devices Azure AD can join or register, from a corporate perspective as well as a personal perspective, i.e. BYOD, bring your own device. You may be asking the question why are we doing this? Well, in some instances, end users may experience issues with enrolment of devices, joining devices to Azure Active Directory, as well as generic WAM errors they may receive. One of the errors they may receive may look like this. They may receive an error which says something went wrong. The threshold has been reached or cap has been reached, or you may get a general all-up WAM error in essence. How do we mitigate this error? Well, this is what we're going to go through in today's session. First things first, prerequisites wise in terms of Microsoft Intune as a service, as well as enrollment of devices. We need to check mobility, MDM and MAM, so mobile device management and mobile application management URLs. We can go into Azure Active Directory, we can select manage, we can click mobility, MDM and MAM, we can select Microsoft Intune. And all we're looking for here in terms of this error message anyway, is that the MDM user scope is set to all or some. Preferably all for all users, some if you're scoping it to Microsoft 365 security groups. And in this use case scenario, we've got the default Microsoft URLs, which they've already pre-populated for us. So that's the first prerequisite ticked off in terms of enrollment of devices. We could touch MAM, but that's alluding to mobile application management, which is your more of your endpoint manager solution and management. If we scroll back, if we go back, we then can click devices. Okay, this is where we manage our devices from both an enrollment perspective, a compliance perspective, as well as just general administration, removing stale devices. If, for example, you've had a lever, for example, or someone swapped device because you've had a hardware refresh. Okay, we can click device settings. First toggle is users may join devices to Azure Active Directory. We want to make sure best practice that is set to all, selected if, once again, you're using a Microsoft 365 security group. We can also require multi-factor authentication to register upon registration of the devices, which do join to Azure Active Directory. However, best practice is to either use security defaults or conditional access. Specifically, if you want a bit more granularity in terms of configuration, then CA policies may be the way to move forward. The setting we're looking at in particular is maximum number of devices per user. By default, Microsoft sets this to 50, which is fine for most use cases or users. However, there may be an instance where the user has reached the maximum cap. Maybe that one user account is used for enrollment of devices. Best practice from that perspective is to use a DEM account, which is a device enrollment manager account for Microsoft Intune in instance. However, if it is just a general, you need to increase the maximum number of devices, then please select the toggle here, and you can you've got a range between 5 to unlimited, or you can set a custom range. Okay, 20 is the recommended from a Microsoft standpoint. It's dependent on your use case, your business justification, how your organisation is set up. However, by selecting one of these settings here and increasing the cap to 100 and selecting save, this would mitigate this error message. How else do we check that error message is definitely the cap being reached in terms of devices per user? We can open up Event Viewer. We can select Application and Service Logs. We can select Microsoft, Windows, and you want to scroll down to User Device Registration. Double click it. Click on Admin or Administration, And then you would see a notice here or error message saying your device cap has been reached. Okay, that screenshot was just an example. This device has not reached its limit, therefore the device has successfully joined to Azure AD. Any questions you may have during this session, please let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer these. Thank you.